I seek refuge in God from outcast Satan. In the name of Allah, who is gracious, merciful. Quran topics by Tanvir Kazmi, chapter number 154. Pork, pig meat, English audio. Al Baqarah, Surah 2, verse 172. O you believe, eat from the good things we provided for you, and be thankful to Allah if you do worship Him alone. He only prohibits for you the eating of animals that die of itself, blood, the meat of pigs, and animals dedicated to other than God. If one is forced to eat these without being malicious or deliberate, they incurs no sin. Allah is forgiver, most merciful. Those who hide God's revelations in the book in exchange for a cheap material gain eat but fire into their bellies. God will not speak to them on the day of resurrection, nor will He purify them. They have incurred a painful punishment. It is they who chose the string instead of guidance and the punishment instead of forgiveness. Consequently, they will have to endure hell. This is because God has revealed His book, bearing the truth, and those who dispute the book are the most ardent opponents. Al Ma'idah 5, verse 3. Prohibited for you are the animals that die of themselves, the blood, the meat of pigs, and animals dedicated to other than God, strangled, struck with an object, fallen from the height, gored, attacked by wild animals, unless you save your animal before it dies. An animal sacrificed on altars. Also prohibited is dividing the meat through a game of chance. This is an abomination. Today the disbelievers have given up concerning your religion. Do not fear them, and fear me instead. Today I have completed your religion, perfect my blessing upon you, and I have decreed submission as a religion for you. If one is forced by famine without being deliberately sinful, then Allah is forgiving, most merciful. They concerning you, they consult you concerning what is lawful for them. Say, lawful for you are all good things, including what trained dogs and falcons catch for you. You train them according to Allah's teaching. You may eat them what they catch for you, and mention God's name thereupon. You shall observe God. Allah is most efficient in reckoning. Al Ma'idah, Surah 5, verse 60. Say, let me tell you who are worse in sight of God, those who are condemned by Allah after incurring His wrath until He made them as monkeys and pigs and the idol worshippers. These are far worse and farther from the right path. Al An'am, Surah 6, verse 145. Say, I do not find in the revelation given to me any food that is prohibited for any other except carrion, running blood, the meat of pigs, for it is contaminated, and the meat of animals blasphemously dedicated to other than God. If one is forced to eat these without being deliberate or malicious, then your Lord is forgiver, most merciful. Al Nahl, Surah 16, verse 112. Allah cites the example of community that used to be secure, the prosperous with provisions coming it from everywhere, but then it turned unappreciative of God's blessing. Consequently, God caused them to taste the hardship of starvation and insecurity. Such is the requital for what they did. A messenger had gone to them from among them, but they rejected him. Consequently, the punishment struck them from their transgression. Therefore, you shall eat from Allah's provisions everything that is lawful and good, and be appreciative of God's blessing. If you do worship Him alone, He only prohibits for you dead animals, blood, the meat of pigs, pork, and food which is dedicated to other than Allah. If one is forced to eat these without being deliberate or malicious, then God is forgiving, most merciful. You shall not utter lies with your own tongue, stating, this is lawful and this is unlawful, to fabricate lies and attribute them to God. Shall those who fabricate lies and attribute them to Allah will never succeed. They enjoy briefly, then suffer painful punishment.